Another big commitment for the Dogs, Michael Uini, a four-star offensive lineman. Georgia brought him on real late in all of this thing. So it looked like he might be going to Michigan. But last weekend he visited Athens, and Georgia reels him in. Here's what Matt DeBerry had to say about him. Stand by as I read this to you. He says he's physically imposing and fires off the ball quickly. By the way, 6'7", 335. Yeah, I mean, you would hope he'd be physically imposing, but, whatever. He's physically imposing and fires off the ball quickly. He has a lengthy frame. He's big with strong hands, plays violent and run blocking. He does a great job of going until the whistle is blown. Once he's engaged with a defender, he makes it incredibly hard to shed his block. Uini is a excellent pass protector, but as is the case with any incoming tackle, there's a lot of improving to do. Dominating Texas high school football is one thing. Doing that in the SEC is completely different. He shows good footwork and bends well for someone his size. His initial punch stands out on film, which of course is very important for offensive linemen. He gets his hands on the defender early. In pass protection, he does a good job of knocking defenders off balance. Against the run, he drives defenders backwards with ease, eliminating them from the play. It's easy to see why Stacy Searles and the offensive staff fell in love with him. He's big, strong, and has a high ceiling. And Georgia made up ground, y'all, here in the last, week, because he's considered a top 150 player nationally, number 10 or so consensus offensive tackle prospect. So not elite necessarily, but really good. If you like this sweatshirt, our friends at Red Zone have that available to you. I'm going to link that down below. So take advantage of that while you can. I know it's a warm streak, not just for the Dogs in recruiting, but the hot streak in the summer is legitimate. So take care of yourselves on that front. But when you're getting ready for the fall, this is a very comfortable sweatshirt, I have to say. So that makes 22 commitments for Georgia. They're not running away with this, but they're coming pretty close. Ohio State's going to be their main competition, and probably Alabama. We've heard this a million times. Those three programs have been the ones who have been the most consistent lately. Alabama does this sometimes where they meticulously go through things. They sort of start slow, comparatively speaking. For instance, right now they're behind Duke and Rutgers. Well, we know that's not going to continue. So they've got plenty of people in their sights. But Georgia, this is going to be a pretty big class for the Dogs. You're looking at right now there are 28 upperclassmen in this program. That's a fair amount, to be honest with you, because typically what happens is that classes are bottom heavy because attrition doesn't happen. Transfers don't happen at that point. But you're coming into 23 with Georgia at 9 seniors, 19 juniors, 23 freshmen, 9 redshirt freshmen, 26 freshmen. Now, that's plus or minus 1 for the record by class. So we'll just see what happens as this program, gets ready for the fall and trying to win another national championship. But they are doing a heck of a job recruiting for sure. And we're going to see in the next couple of weeks that Georgia is recruiting, offensive line. I expect this is not the first one or this is not the final commitment for the Dogs. So pay attention there. But they've got, some elasticity here. I mean, there's still, they needed to get O linemen, and they had one coming sort of into the summer, and now that's growing. And I don't think that's going to stop. You've got your tight ends, basically. Obviously, you've got your quarterbacks. I wonder what they'll do. Let me just take a look real quick. Now, we talked about this over on the site. While I'm looking, make sure that you're picking up our 2023 preview. It comes with double dogs. This deal is not going to last forever. Take advantage of it now, okay? Take advantage of that deal now. I did write about this over on the site on yesterday, actually. Here, I'll show you. This is a story that's been viewed by almost 25,000 people. At the time I'm doing this, it's probably going to be more than 25,000 people. But we're talking about how, the program, I have managed to click on the wrong story. But, yeah, I did. No, I didn't. Excuse me. Insiders have been dedicated to Dog Post that the Bulldogs should expect another commitment to the growing class next week. Well, that's already happened. So there you go. There's your next week. But that's the value of being on the site and just reading it. You don't have to be a premium member, but it's very good to be that as we head into the fall. This program, y'all. I was going to go see what are they going to do specifically. Yeah. Are you done at running back? It's 2 is usually a pretty good number. I played high school basketball with Dwight Phillips Sr. Of course, he was just Dwight Phillips at the time. And, his son has serious speed. And that will be a curious thing to see develop. I really am very, very, very eager to watch the younger Dwight Phillips play and just what he's done. But having played, 4 years of basketball or 3 at least with Dwight, he's a great teammate. He was, at least for us, a very good teammate and a very happy person, a great person. Went on to win a gold medal in Sydney Olympics. So that's what you're bringing in with this class is a lot of athleticism, skill. Are they going to run away with number 1 like it looked like a second ago or a minute ago, a couple months ago? I don't know now. I mean, I'm not sure. Ohio State's definitely going to get on a tear, but Georgia's got a lot of what it needs already. The quarterbacks, plural, both are important. I was talking about Dwight Phillips. That's an Arian Smith type guy that can change a game. And, Arian Smith's had a lot of trouble with injuries. But I'll say this about Arian Smith. The percentage of touchdowns he catches to balls, his touchdown to reception ratio must be, totally through the roof. This this ball right here that he caught running away from the Ohio State defenders was, it was just in the air for so long because he had such, distance between him and the Ohio State player. You're going to see that from Dwight Phillips for sure. This is not a Dwight Phillips video, but it's become that suddenly. But I think for the Dogs, you're looking at the summer. They wanted to kind of address some issues where they had vacancies in this class. They're doing that. I think they're going to continue to do that. And I think that, this program very well could get another number 1 class. Those lead to national championships. They just do. And, excuse me. Let me preface that by saying, if you have gotten a number 1 class, you are more likely to win than if you've not gotten a number 1 class. And that's going back for a long time, actually. Florida State did it. The only team that didn't do it in SEC terms was Auburn with Cam Newton. And they just kind of threw that one together. The way that Kirby and Nick and Ryan Day are doing it, this is the traditional way. This is we don't have a game-changing number 1 overall draft pick coming in. My guess is LSU didn't do it either. But there's only so many Joe Burrows and Cam Newtons rolling around out there. It's about once a decade. So that's not what you want to rely on. But I think this is a big pickup for Georgia, literally, physically. You always want tackles. There's so much you can do with tackles. Quick story. Xavier Truss. Xavier Truss played tackle in that Peach Bowl when Georgia was trying to figure some things out going into 21. And people were so frustrated. They said, he got beat all the time. The guy is going to be a 3-year starter at Georgia, Xavier Truss, not at tackle, but the guy's going to be a 3-year starter at Georgia. When your tackles don't work out, they can go inside often. Often they can go inside. Not every time, but your guards, it's harder to kick them outside. So it gives you some flexibility. And Stacy and them, I mean, for sure, know far more about all this than I ever would. But I've been around a little bit and know that if outside guys can't make it work, you can often push them inside. Jamari was a great example of, I mean, he ain't normal though, I have to say. But I mean, he could play anywhere. But when they really wanted to press Alabama in the fourth quarter of that national championship game, they moved Warren Erickson out. They pushed Jamari inside. They brought Broderick Jones inside. That's a good example of what I'm trying to say. Not very artfully, at least.